I normally don't do book reviews on the website, partly because there are so many books. So if I did like 10 books a year, there'd be hundreds of thousands that came out that I couldn't do. Of course, most of them aren't in my discipline, but even in my discipline, there's just too many. So I refer you to Nijay Gupta, to Scott McKnight, to other friends who do um, book reviews on their websites and so on. So please don't think this is a precedent. But there were just some really good books that came out last year that I just wanted to highlight and mention. But please do not think that because I left out your book, I didn't like it, or because I left out your book, I didn't read it, although probably I didn't read it, or because I left out, yeah, there are many good books. So this is not like informed by having read all the books that came out, but these are just some samples. Um, one book that is just, in terms of scholarly uh, substance, this book, you can see it's kind of hefty, by Max Lee, Moral Transformation in Greco-Roman Philosophy of the Mind. I, I did something like that with Mind of the Spirit, but this is way, way heavier and deeper than that. So if you're looking for a really heavy scholarly thing, that's one of the best that came out this past year. Sean Adams with uh, Greek genres and Jewish authors is also very, very intense like that. There are a number of books that are, but uh, those are really noteworthy ones that I've noted. Um, Commentaries. Now, of course, I'm partial to this one, my one-volume Acts commentary with Cambridge, because the four-volume one, some people said it's too long, so here's a short version. But that's I may have a bias in liking that one. So you want to get away from bias. This commentary by Lynn Cohick on Ephesians I found really, really helpful, very useful, very, very good work. Now, a couple works that I learned a whole lot from, and again, these are just samples, so please don't. I get like 5 book endorsement requests per day sometimes. There's no way I can read that fast, so please do not send me book endorsement requests. I can't keep up. But these are just some ones that I happen to read. These next two are both in related to what I'm working on right now on a commentary on Mark, which will take me years to finish, so don't expect to see it right away. But anyway, this one is by Matthew Thiessen. Jesus and the Forces of Death deals with the issue of purity in the Gospels, and impurity in the Gospels in early Judaism. That was an eye-opener for me. It taught me a lot of things I didn't know. That doesn't mean I agreed with everything in it. I don't remember anything I disagreed with offhand, but I remember everything in the book. I took good notes, though. So, but all these books are just real treasures. They're not like somebody sat down and wrote it off the top of their head. These are books where the people did serious research before they produced the book. So, in other words, each page is full of hours and hours of work, as opposed to some books that are probably only took a few hours. And I can usually tell the difference myself. But anyway, uh, both with my writing and with my reading. So David Finzi, if I'm saying his name right, The Archaeology of Daily Life, that was just, I've been looking for something like this for years. It really complements what I do. I work especially in the primary sources, Jewish, Greek, Roman primary sources. But the archaeology I needed to catch up on. I was pretty caught up on it in the late 1980s, but it's been a long time. So this one by David Finzi deals with daily life in Galilee, and that is a lot of questions that you have about the Bible that wouldn't be answered by a lot of ancient texts really are answered in that book. And so it's really helpful. You're thinking, talks about them on a bed. What did a bed look like in Galilee? Or a mat. For many people, it would have just been a mat. Or if you want to know, like, the paralytic let down through the roof. Of course, commentators always talk about that in Mark chapter 2, but you want to figure out, well, what did the roof look like? How far above the head was the roof where they were tearing up the roof to let the paralyzed man down, and so forth. Questions like that are addressed in this book. So again, there are lots of books. I'm probably leaving out lots of books by lots of my friends. Please forgive me. But here are just some samples of some really good books that came out in 2020 that are really substantive and helpful.